Hey guys, it's Frances with Find Your Crazy, and I'm back for another Tip Tuesday, my favorite time of the week when I get to share with you my tips, tricks, and hacks on how we raise a really big family in a tiny space as we travel the United States in our RV. And today, I'm sharing with you my most expensive hack. Now that's really weird for me because I usually try to help you find cheap and easy and simple hacks to help you raise your family. And today it's going to be my most expensive hack, and that is my Berkey. Now I'm going to tell you what, we went around and round. If there is one hack that we have disagreed on the most between Jay and I, it is this little water filter right here. You may have already heard of a Berkey, but if you haven't, it's a really intense water filtration system. They say you could even put pond water in here and it will take everything out of it. Viruses, bacteria, all the things. I'm not going to try that, but if I needed to, I heard that you can. And so I really wanted this Berkey, even back in our old house, but really when we moved into this RV. Water's kind of an important thing to me. It kind of like grosses me out sometimes when we're just coming from campsite to campsite and spigot to spigot. And really, we stayed in some campsites where I've seen what happens around those spigots, and it really made me nervous that my family was going to be drinking that water. So first, Jay put in just a regular filtration system out at our water area over there. So we have an outboard one that filters the water before it even comes into the house. And that's the water that we brush our teeth with, we take our showers with, we cook with, and all of that. And so that has already happened outside of the rig. Then inside, that wasn't enough for me. So inside, not too long after that, he put in an in-counter filtration system that is up underneath our countertops, but that we have water on demand all the time. And that was another filtration system. But then I really just wanted a Berkey, and I'll tell you why. Because sometimes we would boondock, and in those situations, our freshwater tank might be a little sketchy. It might not be the cleanest, and so I wanted a water filtration system that wasn't based on having hookups, water, sewer, or even electrical hookups. And so if you're going to boondock, you may really want to look into getting a Berkey. Is it worth the cost? I think so, but there are a few tricks that you need and a few issues that you can run into. The Berkey comes in a lot of different sizes. There are little Berkeys, there's travel Berkeys, and we got the big Berkey. The big Berkey filtrates about 2 gallons of water. So that is really good for our family. I went ahead and I would give you a tip. Go ahead and look at your most used water bottles and how many people in your family and what it would take to fill up all of those at least one time so that you can wait on this Berkey to filter. So that's the second tip, and kind of the trick that you have to realize is that this Berkey doesn't filter fast. It comes from the box 2 filters, but it can have up to 4. The more filters you have, the faster it filters. And so we just had the 2 because this guy's really expensive for us. This was a big investment for us. And so we started out with just the 2. And so some of the tricks that we have found to help with that, if you want to kind of not have the cost of adding extra filters and you want to make sure that your family has water all the time, then I've got a couple of tricks for that. That's Jay's #1 concern, is he did not want to not have filtered water ready when he was thirsty, when the kids were coming in from playing. That was his biggest gripe about that, is that it takes too long to filter. And he's right. It does take a long time. You just need to be prepared. So I'm going to share with you some things that have worked for our family and a couple of different options we've worked through. The first one is that we just found a small 64-ounce metal water bottle that is insulated. So what I would do is I would fill this up, and then I would put the top on it, and on travel days, I would put it in the refrigerator, and I tried to always have this full. Always have this full. That way, the kids always had cold water in the refrigerator that they knew if this was still going through the filter. If you don't want a metal one and you need something else, we also found a glass one, and so this was a secondary one as well. So you can use glass if you prefer to use that. Also, you can also just invest in just a very large water bottle. If it's just you or just you and a family member, you might just want to purchase as much water as you drink in a day and make sure that you fill fill that up and then start filtering the rest of your water. The last thing is, because we have a big family and our family likes cold water, we found one of these just at Walmart that is a large water filter, water system that we can just contain that. And all we do on this is we make sure to fill up our Berkey. I know this kind of seems gross, but this works for us. So I can put down this little towel so I don't get water everywhere. And then I move my Berkey right here, and because the top of this is open, I just start to turn that on, and then I can just let that go. I made sure to get a water bottle that fit in my refrigerator, so measure that and make sure it's not too big or too small or too fat or too wide or too tall. Any of that, make sure that it fits in your little RV or home refrigerator. So I made sure that I got them that was slimline, that would work for us, and I also made sure that it was a 2.5 gallon, so that I could put all of this water into here and start the filtration process again. This way, we always have water. Those who want cold water always have access to it, and we have yet to run out of water with this guy. So there's lots of different options that you can do. But what do you do and how do you filter the water? So if you, there are filters in the top, and then it filters into this bottom compartment, okay? What we did is we made sure that we situated our Berkey where our faucet arm, I guess is what you would call this, is able to reach it. And that way I can just turn on my water and I don't have to lug it back and forth. 2.5 gallons of water is heavier than you think it is. So be really prepared to put it in a place where you can access your water and you don't have to be moving it all of the time. That's probably one of our best tricks. And Jay had to move, what's it called again?
The weight.
The weight, he's right there. The weight on the bottom that keeps this from coming in and out and keeps it going back and forth. He moved the weight so that I had more space to go all the way across my countertop. And now it sits here ready to go. I quickly am able to fill up my water. It starts the filtration process all over again, and I put my top on here and I'm ready to go. One of the main tricks I would tell you that you really have to learn about the Berkey if you're thinking of getting one is that you have to do a little bit of spatial reasoning in your mind. And I'll tell you why. This can only fill up as much as it can. So if you continue to fill this up, it will overflow. Ask us how we know. It happened multiple times to us. And so you really have to start looking in and making sure you kind of visualize how much water have we used. Okay, this is how much water I put in. What I try to do is I just try to dump it all off at one time. I fill this guy up and then I refilter throughout the night. So I try to make sure that I have the water going, and then at night I fill it up. In the morning it's ready. I put this in here and we're ready to go. Those are my best tricks on how to utilize a Berkey so that you never run out of water. You are never waiting around for the drip to come down, and you are ready with a cool drink on a hot day or when your kids are running in from exploring and hiking. It just takes a little bit of forethought. It is an expensive investment, but I have found if you're going to boondock, if you're going to be without water, if you're not sure about what's going on in your freshwater tank, or if you just don't feel like the water in the area that you're in is the safest or tastes the best, then a Berkey really might be for you. We have loved it. I will not ever turn back, but I do think that you need to think through it and make sure that it's going to work for your family, and find tricks and tips and hacks so that you're not running out of water, because that's probably the biggest thing that you need to take care of. And also just make sure that you wash it out. It is stainless steel, so it doesn't have a lot of bacteria. It doesn't hold in a lot of those things, but just make sure that it's just with soap and water on the bottom that you clean it out with cool water. Just rinse out your filters, rinse out the top, keep it nice and clean. Make sure that you're not growing any special friends down there, because that really defeats the purpose of your Berkey. So keep it clean, keep it filtered as much as you can. And if you have any tricks, tips, and hacks on how you have filtered water and what works for your family, please let us know. And if you have any other ideas on how to use the Berkey better and more efficiently, let me know. And this guy, if you're wondering how he travels, we dump all this water into here and then it gets seat belted in, and it has a place of honor that it rides in my van with me every single time. So if we're riding down the road, you'll probably see a Berkey in the passenger seat. You'll know that it's just like one of my kids, and it's just really really awesome and I love it. So I hope that this has helped you create a place of clean water and a place for the Berkey in your home. We hope that you have a great day, have a great week, and have some crazy fun with your family, and I'll see you next week. Bye guys.